Welcome back to my channel. So guess what I got in store for you today? Today I had a subscriber give me a call and ask me if I would help them install a fantastic fan. And I said, sure, not a problem. I said, if you don't mind me videoing it. So today I have a video of installing a fantastic fan from start to finish. So I hope you enjoy this. Alright, when you go buy your fantastic fan, I'm going to do a quick unboxing for you. And I'm going to show you all the parts that you get inside of it. So the first thing that we have is we got the fan itself. With that fantastic fan, you have a shroud. So if we grab that fan and pull that shroud off of there, you can see the shroud that comes with it. Now this part right here to cover up the hole that your fan is going to be in. So this shroud, even though it's big, even though it's wide, we're going to cut that down to size. And of course we have our fantastic fan, and that comes with a tinted top, which I gotta tell you what, that's one of the nice part about it, especially when the sunlight comes in the morning. And next in the box we've got our manual, of course, and it comes with screws that we won't use because we're going to be using our own screws for this, and that's it. The rest of it we got to make up as we go. Okay, these are some of the products that you're going to need to install your fantastic fan. You're going to need some butyrol tape. You're going to need some Dicor lap sealant, that stuff right there. And you're going to need yourself a pencil and some screws, something for a straight edge. And you're going to need a caulking gun, so that way you can apply your lap sealant. And you're going to need a saw of some sort to cut a hole in the top of your van. Yeah, that's what I said. You're going to cut a hole in the top of your van. So all I can say is, you better do it right the first time. Not just kidding. It's pretty easy. And you need a good blade, so that way you can cut through the metal. Okay, so when you're looking to place where you want to put your fantastic fan, you want to put them in between the support structures. You do not want to cut into these right here. Those are your support structures. If you cut into those, you're going to ruin the structural integrity of your van. Go ahead and make your 14-inch by 14-inch square in between the cross members where you would like to put your roof vent fan. And we'll talk about at the end of this video what I believe to be the best place to put your roof vent fan is and why. Now next what I'm going to do is I'll drill holes in the corner through each one of these, and then I'll go up on top and I'll make my mark up on top so I know exactly where I'm going to cut out for the fan. Okay, now you can see we got our 4 holes drilled. We got them right up there, and now we're going to go up on top and we're going to make our marks and we're going to start cutting out our hole for our fan. Okay, well I'm kind of losing my light a little bit. Okay, so this is what we did on the top. We drilled our 4 holes that are coming up through here, and that gave us our corner points where we're going to make our mark up on top. And then what I did was I drew my 4 corners. If you can see that mark on there, drew the line on the van. And now I got 14 by 14, and now we're going to make a bigger hole with the drill bit so I can start the jigsaw so we can cut this out. So now we're just drilling out a bigger hole so that way we can start our jigsaw blade. All right, we got a bigger hole. That's where we're going to start our jigsaw. And as you can see, now we can fit right down in the hole. Now we can cut the really big hole out of the top of the van. Okay, make sure before you start doing any of this, make sure you get your safety glasses on first. Safety glasses, I'm going to poke my eye out with the end. All right, make sure you wear your safety glasses. This is really important. You don't want a piece of metal in your eye. And there, we got one big hole in the roof. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take off the rough edges around the metal, and we're going to spray some paint primer on there so that way it doesn't rust. And we'll continue on with doing the rest of this. Okay, so after you have your hole cut out, what you want to do is you want to make sure you take like a file. In this case, I just use a sanding wheel. You want to take and file down any rough edges that you might have. And then you don't want to take rubbing alcohol and use a rag. So you just want to go ahead and you want to clean up around your edges. Make sure that you get all the dirt off of there. And then we're going to spray paint that. We're going to put some paint on there so that way we don't have any rusting on that bare metal. And I'm just using a primer for this. Just go around your edge and apply the primer. Okay, so what I've done so far, I've lined the entire fantastic fan with butyrol tape all the way around, and then in the valleys here, because you have valleys that are in your van. So I have one right here. So what I did was I put extra butyrol tape right there. So that way that helps seal that off, so that way no water gets through it. And it evens it out. So that way you have from one ridge to the other edge and it's all nice and even. And so now I've just set the fan down in the hole. Okay, so what we're doing right now is I'm putting sheet metal screws in the top of the Fantastic fan. That way it'll help secure the fan to the top of the roof. That butyrol tape underneath there, that's going to seal that up so that way there's not going to be any leaking whatsoever. And of course, we're going to apply the Dicor lap sealant to the top of that too. After we get all this finished up, it's coming together. We're almost done. Okay, so what I've done is I put the sheet metal screws in to hold down the Fantastic fan, and I've just used a drill and I've screwed them down, but I didn't do it tight all the way. Now this is my preferred preference. Then I use a hand wrench like this with a 1/4-inch socket, and then I'll go ahead and I'll tighten these down by hand so I don't strip them out. Now these were self-tapping sheet metal screws, but if you don't use self-tapping, you can pre-drill your hole and then put your screws in, and those sometimes work out a little bit better. So I've tightened them down just a little bit, and then I've hand tightened them the rest of the way. That way it didn't strip out the screw in the roof. And next we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna put the lap sealant down all the way around the outside of it, so that way we can get it completely sealed up. So let's get on with it. Okay, before you put down your lap sealant, make sure you clean around there with your rubbing alcohol. So just take and put it on a rag. And just take and wash that really good. You want to get all that dirt off of there so that way you get a good seal. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and we're going to apply the Dicor lap sealant to the Fantastic fan and seal this baby up. Now this is a self-leveling lap sealant. Look at that beautiful sunset setting right now. Oh, you know what? Finally we had a beautiful day. It has been nothing but torrential rain around here. But today has been absolutely beautiful. Okay, now the only thing I have left is for me to jump down. All right, I hope I see you after I get done doing this. All right, I'm about to jump. Here we go. Okay, as you can see here, we got the Fantastic fan all installed, and it's just waiting for the ceiling to go on. And when I go ahead and help him put the ceiling on, I'll show you how that works. This is a shroud that fits inside the Fantastic fan, but we are all secured down on here. This thing is ready to go. Pretty sweet. And what you'd like to do is hook it up to electric. And while we're out here, I thought I would take this opportunity to show you my Fantastic fan that I have installed in my van. So let's go take a look at it real quick. So this is my Fantastic fan that I have installed in my van. Okay, remember that shroud I showed you? That shroud goes on after you finish your ceiling. It covers out the hole that you cut. It adds a nice finished look to your install. Now personally, my fan, I love my fan. My Fantastic fan has 3 speeds, 1, 2, and 3. And I'll be honest with you, I really never even turn it past 1. That seems to be quite sufficient. Now, I also have the fan that has the reversible control, so you can either exhaust the air out or you can blow it in. Alright, that's pretty much it. That's how you install a Fantastic fan. If you have any comments or you have any questions, just go ahead and leave them down below. I'll get back to you as soon as I possibly can. I'd be more than happy to try to help you. Now, there's a lot of debate. There's a lot of people out there that say, well, you don't need to have a vent fan in your van. You know what? And that's really true. The question is it important to have a vent fan? No, it's not. If you're going to keep your doors open all the time, especially in the summertime, it's not that important to have a vent fan. But during the winter time, like for myself, my vent fan, I open it occasionally to exhaust out some of the moisture buildup that's in there. And during the summertime, it pulls the air right across you, and it is such a refreshing breeze. It exhausts the heat out of your van. Now, to answer your question for real as to whether or not it's important to have one of these, well, kind of think of it like this. You know, you really don't need to have a blanket, you really don't need to have a pillow, you really don't need to have a mattress to sleep on either. And as well as with the vent fan, you don't necessarily need to have that. If you can afford it, or when you can afford it, it is a great asset to have within your van. I mean, stop and think about it like this. We don't leave our pets in our vehicles during the summer because why? Because it gets really super hot in there. Well, the same goes for you when you're living in your van. You don't want to be in there any more than your pet might want to be because of how hot it gets inside your van. That fan keeps your van extremely cool during the summertime and helps exhaust the moisture during the wintertime. So when you can afford it, when it becomes available to you, I highly recommend you installing one of these in your van. So now, as far as the placement goes, as far as where you put your fan at, my personal preference is putting it towards the back. Now, the reason why I say that it is because you're going to crack your window down a little bit up front, and what's going to happen is you're going to draw all that air all the way through your van, all the way to the back, and exhaust it out the top. And what that does, it creates a breezeway all the way through your van, and it's able to pull all the hot air out. If you put it in the middle of your van, you're only going to draw it to that point. You're not going to exactly exhaust all the hot air out through your entire van. I hope I said that in a way that you could understand that. If you have any further comments about that, also leave that down below. I will try my best to try to answer this question for you. But the most important part about it is putting in a Fantastic fan or a Max Air fan is super simple, easy. I realize, you know, it's a little overwhelming possibly to cut a hole up in the top of your van, but really it's not that hard. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to end this little video right here. I just want to tell you, I thank you so much for taking your time to stop by my channel today. It's truly been my pleasure once again to be able to bring this video to you. I hope you're living your life to your fullest. And until I see you all again, later.